Hello, my PC students. This is going to be a review for you, so I'm just going to pick out different assignments and go over them just to make sure there's certain things that you do know. All right, in this one here, I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to go to View here, and I want to go to Zoom, and I'm going to put up to about 140. Okay, all right, so now here, if I asked you to put in the month, very easily you would type in January and you would spell it correctly, January, press enter, and you would grab it down and drag it down until you see December. So everybody can do that. Now, the question says, what percent, and listen to my wording, what percent, so equals, okay, what percent is the monthly overhead as compared to means divide by the monthly sales. Now, the monthly sales are January, your gross sales, B8. All right, press enter, grab your fill handle, and drag down. 2 decimal places is fine. Okay, now we need some totals in here, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to click here. I'm going to pick this up, and I'll go Alt equals so that I've got a total there. And a total there, and I want totals here. So hold on here, and Alt equals. And widen my column, and widen my column. Okay, did you notice right away there's 0 decimal places here? So that means then that I want 0 decimal places here to be consistent. And I do expect you to know that. You have to know when you are having matching formats. And of course, if they don't line up, then you also know you haven't got matching formats. Okay, so we've got a counting format, and we went with 0 decimal places. All right, this one needs to come down one more here. Okay, so now the question says key in a formula, so put in equals, and what percent is the monthly overhead as compared to the total? And when you're comparing to a total, it must be absolute. All right. And you know F4 makes it absolute, and drag it down. And of course this one, comparing to the total, should always have 100% here. If it doesn't, you know you've made a mistake. All right, now we want to insert 2 columns. Remember, we put the black arrow here and select G and H. And now we right click and insert. Did we insert 2 columns? Yes. All right, copy and go Control C. And go Control V, and we need it over here, so Control V. And the row height doesn't seem to be enough, so widen it down so that everything fits in. Okay, this time it says key in a formula again, so equals, and you want to have what are your labor costs in relation to, or as compared to, means divide the monthly sales. There's your monthly sales in B8. All right, and you got a 0, and you know enough, you don't worry about that, because you haven't put your percent on, right? So percent and 2 decimal places. Okay, good. All right, then the next one, key in a formula, equals, and you've got to take your labor cost as compared to, means divide the total labor cost, and the total has to be absolute. All right, grab your fill handle, and same scenario, you've got a $sign going down all the way. You want your percent sign 2 decimal places. Oh, I said to do 1 there, 1 decimal place, because I said to do 1 under total, just so you can practice and make sure you pick up the difference, all right? Now, percent of sales one more time. What percent equals, what percent is the cost of goods sold as compared to the monthly sales? All right, so you should have that one down pretty pat. Now, this one didn't give you a $sign. All you've got are the decimal places, right? So you still have to go to percent, and you want 2 decimal places. All right, and the last one here, we want percent, so equals, and what percent is the cost of goods sold as compared to the total cost of goods sold, absolute. All right, press enter, and grab your fill handle, drag down, and you want percent and 1 decimal place. All right, that's all there was to that one. That's all you had to do. All right. So that was your first one, so we'll close that one out. We don't need to save it. If you want to save it, of course, save it. That's fine. All right, so I'm going to go File, Close. And now I want to go to teaching number 2. So hold on here. Teaching number 2. All right, now this is when we had tickets. Now remember, tickets, these are the actual tickets. And it said type in January. So you typed in January. And you spelled it right. January. All right, and whoa, I haven't got my U there, so it's not going to work. All right, and a capital U. Way to go, Lee. All right, now I'm on the right track. January to April. Now, once I've got those in, I would copy, go Control C, and I would go Control V, and now I've got the months of the year in again. All right, on your season tickets, note that it says total ticket sales and it has year to date. What have I always taught you? Remember, click in the first cell, hold down your Shift key, and click in cell G7. You should see your blank column and your blank row. Alt equals. There's your total tickets, just like that. All right. Now, here we have ticket prices, okay? Now, everybody for season tickets pays $55.95. Reserved are $40.50, and so on down. All right, so for January, you have $55.95 for the season tickets. Now, we have to stay in this column because remember, that's all our ticket prices. So F4 to freeze the column. Remember, we're freezing the column. Times now your tickets for January, right? And press enter. Okay, so grab your fill handle, drag down, and drag to the right. And now we're going to widen the columns here. Okay, and I don't want my $sign repeating, so therefore I'm going to fix it right now. Right click. I want to go to Format Cells. I want Accounting with no $sign, but I want 2 decimal places. Okay, let's take a look at these formulas so that you can see. And now do you see that every time you see your blue here, okay, the cost, you see the cost is blue, the cost is blue, the cost is blue, and the cost is blue. But we multiplied by the tickets. We multiplied by the tickets, but we never went out of the ticket price column. Multiplied by the tickets, but still in the ticket price column. Multiplied by the tickets, but still in the ticket price column. Multiplied by the tickets, multiplied by the tickets. All right, so that's good there. All right, and now, do you see the salaries are frozen? They're the same every month, and so is the rent. So select the 2 of them, drag it across. Oh, don't move it. Hold on here, thin black crosshairs, and drag. All right, now, this time, the same with the expenses. Here's your first expense, salary expense. Hold down your Shift key, and you have year to date and total expenses. Alt equals. Okay, what is your net income? Remember, revenue minus expenses. So equals your revenue. Oh, wait, I haven't totaled it, so hold on here. I've got to do that. So let me take you back here. All right, so now again, I'm going to click in January, hold down my Shift key, and I want to click in year to date. Now I've got a total row here, so Alt equals. All right, that's good. Okay, and now I can go do my net income equals, and I have to take my revenue minus my expenses. All right, and so I did very well. No complaints at all. All right, and drag across. Okay, so this looks like a large number of tickets to sell. Doesn't seem to make sense in compared to the rest, but I think I'll size it down a bit. I'm going to put 988, and I'll put in 928, so it's not so off. Okay, so I changed those 2 values for you. That's okay. And now, what percent? Okay, so my tickets are equals. Here's my total season tickets. As compared to means divide my total ticket sales. Total ticket sales has to be absolute. All right, grab your fill handle, drag down. Now, this looks like it's centered to me. So put on 2 decimal places and make sure you're on right alignment. All numbers are right aligned, okay? And now the same thing, your season ticket revenue is equals, here's how the revenue you got from season tickets, as compared to means divide by the total revenue, and the total revenue must be absolute. All right, grab your fill handle and drag down. Okay, once again, 2 decimal places and choose right. Okay, the expenses work the same way. Equals, and here's your total expenses for salaries. As compared to means divide, and here's your total expenses altogether, absolute. All right, press enter. And once, oh, look at your salary, 60%. That's too high. You got to somehow cut that down. All right, so you want 2 decimal places, and we want it to be right aligned. Okay, then I think you were also asked to find the average. Okay, the average. All right, so let's go here and paintbrush this one to match. All right, now here equals average. Okay, open your parentheses, and we want to know the average in season ticket sales for January, February, March, and April. Okay, the average number we sold was $8.95. All right, and drag down, and the average total ticket sales for the 4 quarters or the 4 months were 2,657. All right, we also want to find out the average revenue. So I'm just going to say we're going to continue right on down, okay, and I'm going to go all the way down to net income. So I don't need these 2. Okay, now I need my average here. I don't need these 3, and I don't need this one. All right, so now here I have to pick up my $sign. So I'm going to paintbrush this and my total and my expense here and my total and my net income. All right, and now widen the column. Okay, so now take a look. I got 2 decimal places here, so I have to have 2 decimal places here. So there's my 2 decimal places, and there's my 2 decimal places. Okay, looks pretty good. You've done everything. Remember, your $sign goes at the beginning of a column and at a total, not at a last line. That's wrong, okay? So beginning of the column, add a total. And net income is always important. It has a $sign in front of it. All right, so that's all we want to do with this one. This is teaching number 2. So therefore, I've saved mine. You can do what you want to do, and I want to close it out, and we'll stop there. Now I'll make another video for the next ones and so on. So this is your first part A of your review.